In a small town of Luwero, surrounded by dense forests, lived a couple who had one child called Peter. One evening, when the sun had dipped below the horizon, Peter went out to play near the forest and never returned. The town was in deep fear and sadness. Locals searched for him everywhere, calling out his name, but he was nowhere to be found. Days turned into weeks of searching, and the hope of finding Peter started to fade. The elders on the search whispered tales of the forest, speaking of shadows and secrets hidden in its depths, as they knew it was a place from which few returned. One evening, a group of wild animal trackers decided to explore a cave near the edge of the forest, a place untouched and feared by the locals in the town. As they went deeper into the cave, their lights flashed upon a sight that made their hearts stop. Peter sitting in the far corner of the cave, his eyes dark and empty, his appearance abnormal, like someone possessed by the forest's evil. As they approached him, his voice echoed with a sound that seemed to come from another world. His eyes were so dark that they seemed to swallow the light. The sketches around him portrayed scenes of the forest. Peter spoke, but his voice was different, mixed with a coldness that made the air around him feel heavy. He told tales, not of adventures, but of a darkness that had embraced him, whispers that filled his mind with shadows. The cave, he said, was his home, a place where he belonged with the creatures that whispered in the dark. The wild animal trackers' hearts pounded with fear, and they left Peter behind as his laughter followed them. He told them to offer him a sacrifice in the form of a male bull every month, or else he would come for more children, and no one would be allowed to leave Luwero town. When the wild animal trackers returned from the forest, they told the elders and Peter's parents what they had encountered, Peter possessed by the forest spirits. They warned of the need for monthly sacrifices to prevent more children from disappearing into the forest. But the elders and Peter's parents did not believe in sacrifices. They remained hopeful that their child would one day return to them, dead or alive. Months passed without any sacrifices to the forest. Over time, the locals began to hear Peter's voice crying every night. This left them worried and shocked, wondering what the cries meant. Some believed the forest had set Peter free, and the cries were his plea for rescue. But despite further searches, Peter remained missing. Soon, every morning after Peter's cries were heard at night, a child was found dead. At first, the locals did not understand the cause of these deaths. But the more often Peter's voice was heard, the more frequently children died. The elders recalled what the wild animal trackers had told them about making sacrifices to the forest, which they had ignored. When the locals realized the cause of the sudden deaths, some tried to flee the town. However, even those who ran away died instantly. The remaining townspeople began making monthly sacrifices to the forest. The mysterious deaths of children ceased, and to this day, people continue to make sacrifices to the forest of Luwero. Peter was never seen again. He is now believed to exist as a ghost or forest spirit. His parents passed away in agony, never seeing their child again.